Oh, okay. Well, why don't you hop into the Discord and let's talk about it? Give me an overview of why I should be excited. I read the overview that was posted here.
Hello.
Hi. What's up?
How much?
So what's the dealio on Diablo 3?
Well, there wasn't too much more that was shown besides the original thing, but there was some stuff. Mainly there was a lot of life improvements that they announced, which was new over, basically that was the newest thing that they announced besides the Necromancer and the Diablo 1 mode.
Yeah.
Basically they are introducing an armory, and what the armory does is it is basically entire set passive, I think, Paragon points, gems, and everything saved into 5 different set slots. So if you want to play a barbarian and you have all of the sets for the barbarian, instead of individually clicking on everything, switching gems, switching runes, skills, and passives, you just switch the set and it automatically does everything for you.
Basically a wardrobe tab.
Yeah, it's going to be a wardrobe thing.
Yeah.
And it auto upgrades all your gems for you to the highest tier if you have them and everything. So.
Okay.
And then as far as the Diablo stuff they've already mentioned, I do have a couple screenshots that I was basically screen capping as it was happening. Hang on. Posted into the general chat. So this first one is just a couple of the things you're going to get with the Diablo 1, the 2.4.3 patch that's coming.
Yeah.
Basically, it's going to be a new kind of border and a sigil type of thing, and that patch is free. That's going to be free. All that stuff with the Diablo 1's free. You don't have to pay for any of that.
Yeah, they said that's going to be next week. Yeah, I watched the opening ceremony. I mean, I paid attention and went back and read what I thought I heard. But artwork is not content.
No, it's not.
And
they're also, so they did show off the mode. They basically showed off videos for it. You can probably find those on somewhere. I'm sure they're on either they're going to be up on the Diablo actual YouTube channel shortly or somewhere else a little later, but so the way that it plays is it plays pretty much like as Diablo 1 as they could get it. You can still pick all the classes that are in Diablo 3. It's very slow, there's no running. It has like the butcher looks like the butcher. They didn't show off any of the other bosses because they have to actually custom make them, the models and everything. They added a whole bunch of enemies from Diablo 1 into it, like the you know those snake guys in Diablo 1, those like dudes with the swords, and they would move around on their tail or whatever.
Yeah.
They have those models in. They've added a whole bunch of other new models in from Diablo 1. They've re-skinned and re-edited some of the models that are in the game now to look more like the Diablo 1 ones. They've added all the music, all the sound effects, everything back from Diablo 1 into the game. Basically how it's going to work is that you go to the Tristram in D3. They'll have a little special symbol by it, and there's a portal. Whenever you go into that portal, it automatically switches to the old Diablo 1 thing, and then you go through it after that.
I wonder how many people's gonna actually test right away to see if they kept the duping in there.
I doubt it's going to be in there, but
you'll have 90% of the half the people won't play it just because of that.
Yeah,
I can't fucking
there is going to be it's going to be an annual thing from now until forever. As long as Diablo 3 happens, it's going to happen every single January. They're doing the throwback thing.
So this isn't until January that we get this.
It doesn't go live until January, which is not that far away. It's 2 months. That's really not that far away. The Necromancer thing is next year. They said first to second half-ish. They did not give an actual date
second half. You know, every time that they do that, it's always the first month that popped in my mind was June, because that's always when they have some type of major release. It seems is right around May or June.
I would say May.
I mean, that's two latter seasons from now.
So if you think about it like this, Diablo 3 came out in May.
Right.
Reaper of Souls came out in May.
Correct. Now that's what I'm saying. May or June is usually.
May would be what I would assume would be the update for the Necromancer.
Sort of second quarter.
Here's a screen cap of the actual armory thing. It'll basically be by the stash as an in-game thing that you can click on.
Yeah, which all that I saw.
And then here is some of the set concepts for the Necromancer that they showed.
Which is it called the Commander of the Dead?
Basically the product designs and everything, how they said they want the armor to look, and they've kind of planned it out.
It kind of, I don't know.
Here's another one.
That's very similar to the Demon Hunter. To me.
If you're talking about the middle one, then I would say yeah, but the other ones don't.
The one to the far right looks like Demon Hunter to me. The one in the middle does.
Well,
the one on the left, no, because it doesn't have the headgear.
And then the second image I linked is all the other stuff.
Yeah, see, I can dig that.
Yeah, like the blood one looks fucking sick.
Yeah, it does. I kind of like that. Yeah, that one looks really good. The one to the left looks like Witch Doctor. The one to the right looks like Tyrael. I mean, just looks like an angel.
And then this is the blood golem that they showed off.
Now, Sasquatch Bub, we are. I'm actually playing Path of Exile now. I'm done with D3 unless Guntoad wants to jump on there and rush me. I know he's got a level 900.
I actually do not have a high level. I have not played this season. So
who is this? Oh, that's the blood golem. Nice.
Yeah. So what they said, as far as how the Necromancer works, is that
you talk about the content. I'm sorry, Guntoad. Hang on. Yeah, this is all for Diablo 3 is what we're going over right now. All right, go ahead.
So he doesn't use mana. He uses two resources, sort of. The actual pool and where you see it is called Essence. And Essence doesn't recharge. It's kind of like how the Barbarian's Fury is. It doesn't recharge. There's probably some kind of passive you can get to make it, but
yeah, because you can get that. You can get that to where the Barbarians is pretty much all the time full. I forget which.
Yeah.
Which rune or gear or something does it.
The other resource, and it's kind of a resource, but not really, are corpses. So the way that they described it is whenever you kill anything in Diablo 3, blow it up, set it on fire, whatever, it explodes, you see the body go flying away. To them in Necromancer only, you will see patches of like entrails and skulls and stuff. And the main thing that that's used for is corpse explosion. Corpse explosion was like the one thing that they wanted to push. Is like it's coming back. It's way stronger than it was in D2. It is super overpowered in this. The way that you do get your essence back is a skill called Blood Siphon, and that's basically you just drain blood from stuff and you put it in. It becomes your pull basically.
Now I'm assuming that skill would have to be a vacuum.
It looked like you just target whatever, and then cast it, and it does it. I don't know how much or what they were showing, like dummy enemies that they were doing it on and stuff, so I don't know what the actual details of it are. But they very specifically specified the difference between a witch doctor and a necromancer, because that's the biggest question that most people had was like, well, it could just be another witch doctor. So the way that the summons work for the necromancer is similar to how the auras work for the monk. And I know that sounds weird, but when I explain it, it'll make more sense. So the way that like the auras work for the monk is that they have a passive ability, and then whenever you activate them, they have an active ability. This is the same way that the summons for the necromancer will work. So the passive ability for the necromancers, like summons, like skeletons, whatever, is that they're just there. You just have those skeletons there. That active is what makes them attack. So you highlight a monster and you click that skeleton skill, and all the skeletons just swarm on an enemy all at once. So it's no longer they're controlled by AI and they just do whatever they want. You can actually command them to do whatever you want instead.
Interesting.
And then they.
It almost seems like they're trying to introduce some type of tab targeting system, but using your mouse.
It's not that.
Some type of hybrid of it.
It's basically just like you point at a thing, hit the button, they go to the thing.
Right.
So I'm gonna imagine that it doesn't have to be an enemy. If you point at the ground and hit the attack, they will all just go to that spot. I would guess. But the other skill that they showed off, and I didn't get a screen capture of it because I couldn't because it was in motion. So it's called Actual Army. The name of the skill is Army of the Undead, and that is a single target ability where you summon over 100 skeletons that collide and suicide into the enemy like bombs. Basically, they all slam into the enemy at once and explode. And that was like the coolest fucking skill that I had seen.
It's kind of like the lunatic goblins that they have in there.
Yeah. You summon like a whole horde of them and they all just run at a target and then kill them. It actually looks super cool.
I feel you.
They did say that tomorrow they are going to actually talk about the balancing, and there's apparently something called Challenger Rifts that are coming out in the next patch, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And basically they said that tomorrow they were going to be talking about. But they basically, at this panel, they just went into, here's what the Diablo 1 stuff is, here's the armory, and then here's the overview of the Necromancer.
So what are these quality of life changes that they're talking about?
It was the armory. The armory is the biggest quality of life change that they've done. Like, I know for you it's not too important.
Why? Why? Huh?
No, hear me out. Diablo 3 is not a game that you put into that much time. You play it when you're bored.
Would if they'd make it like to where I would want to.
I'm telling you, for you and the way that you play the game currently, you do not collect every single set. You do not play it constantly to push the greater rifts. You don't play it to do mass party rifting. You don't do that. I can't do that anymore because I don't have anybody like the people in the clan.
I mean,
with,
all my past ladder characters are 300 plus.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, but that's
like that. That's what I'm saying. This quality of life thing is for the in-game people. This is for the people that have like 2,000 Paragon, have every single set that's all ancient, have all this shit.
Yeah, but see, you're not. See, the thing is, though, you don't really have those people anymore. If you take the entire.
Apparently, they have enough of them to where they need to make this quality of life change.
They're making this quality of life change to try to make people do it. That's the thing. I mean, it's like,
I would disagree. I would say that they are making this change.
That's why they don't have any. That's why they don't have hardly any streamers. You got more people streaming PoE than you do Diablo right now.
Yeah, because there's no content right now.
Because there's no content, and this quality of life change. I understand what you're saying, but this quality of life change is not going to make the difference.
No,
they haven't.
It's like the thing you have to accept now is like Blizzard doesn't care about Diablo.
They don't care about D3. It is, like I said in my video, it has become the bastard child of the company because now they're going to do exactly what they said they weren't going to do and jump into the esports in quotations, because they said that was never their intent other than StarCraft. They understood that right there from the get-go got picked up and turned into an esport, which is understandable. But now they've got Overwatch, now they've got HOTS, now they've got the card game. And then now that leaves Diablo 3. There you go, period. That just leaves Diablo 3.
Like
even WoW has competitive sports now. I mean, or has had it for a while.
I am not surprised by this at all. It does not surprise.
Oh, I'm not surprised either. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, and see, I'm not disappointed because I saw what Hearthstone was coming in to be, and I saw what Overwatch was, and I saw this,
I saw it too.
Oh, well, no, I have to accept that they're just not going to do anything with Diablo anymore.
Right, yeah, exactly. I feel you. I totally agree. Yeah, but still, they're letting the game die, and you kind of have to wonder if that's the reason why they brought that guy back that retired way back when and not brought back David Brevik, because he knows the future of the game has no future. And that's why he chose to they probably did offer it to him. Hey, David, we're going to have somebody dedicated to D3. Here's what we need. And he's probably like, no, that's all so you're not going to add. See, he's a content person. And that's the one thing that I found surprising, is that he did go to Grinding Gear Games versus where Blizzard was looking for people to pick up, not only in the legacy gaming, but in the current Diablo 3. In the, there's a future game that there's still, whispers about that may be coming up in 2018, 2019, that's in development right now.
It's still the thing of also, like, what's his name? The dude that did take over Diablo 3 whenever it moved to Reaper of Souls.
Justin Browder?
No, that Josh Mascara guy.
Oh, okay, that guy, okay.
He took it over. He doesn't work there anymore. He made his own company.
Correct.
Like, he tweeted that he's in his own company, so he left the development of Diablo 3.
Correct.
Probably because he just saw it like...
He saw there was no future in it.
They're just going to release small content for the next however many years until finally people get fed up, and then they're like, hey, look, here's Diablo 4, finally. That's what they're going to do. I can guarantee you, next BlizzCon, maybe the BlizzCon after that.
Yeah, 2018, 2019 that's the whispers that I'm hearing is the next major release that Blizzard's having. And there has been even other people that I've talked to, and hearsay in there and rumors that say that Blizzard's not having anything in the works until 2021, whenever they get into the VR realm, because they're working on they have a development team working on virtual reality for some of their games. So you never know, they might actually be working on some of that. So we may have to wait 5 more years, like you said, before we have anything.
I mean, I'm fine with this. At this point, I have accepted it completely.
That's all we can do is accept it. That's all we can do.
I've accepted it. I'm not going to complain. I'll play the Necromancer. I'm going to buy that shit. I don't care. You know why? Because I love Diablo. I love that story and I love that game series. So if I can still support it, even though they're not supporting it, then I'm happy. If I can still give them money to be like, hey, at least try something at some point, please, then that's fine with me. I've accepted it. I'm not going to sit here and complain and bitch and moan on Twitter about, oh, they're not doing what I want. I want this and I want that. It's like, they're the company. They need to make money. They're seeing no money in Diablo right now because, to their credit, a lot of the content that has come from after Reapers of Souls has been free. A lot of the greater rifts and all that shit they released for free. They didn't charge anybody. They didn't charge anything for any of that.
To be fair, though, that was damage control.
Yeah. The Josh Mascara guy came on after Diablo 3, Reaper of Souls, and he said, this is a fucking mess. I'm going to fix it as best as I can, and then I'm going to get out. That's
to be fair, they had to take that loss because that was damage control.
Yeah.
They knew that was a hot mess going on.
But the way I see it, Blizzard knows exactly what they're doing right now. They're not going to focus on Diablo. They're not going to focus on anything that's free, generally. They are going to focus on stuff that is competitive, that's esports, that gets their products out there and pushes that forever. They're not going to focus on the single-player experience. It's about the story. It's this multiplayer experience that is not actually competitive. They could never get the PvP to work in Diablo 3, so they're not even going to bother trying to make a competitive thing out of this game. It's never what it's supposed to be anyway, so they're not even going to worry about it. They're going to keep the team that is currently working on D3 small, way smaller than any of the other teams, and they're just going to push forward. And like, if people can't accept that, that's fine, but don't bitch about it whenever you can see what their plan is.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
You're speaking in general, though, because I hope you're not directing that.
I'm not talking to you. No, I'm not talking to you.
Okay, because I'm saying I accepted
Twitter.
it a year ago. That's why I do play casual.
Yeah, I accepted it when Reaper of Souls launched. I was like, you know what? This is what this is going to be. I'm fine.
Yeah, because I mean, I blasted through Reaper of Souls in like 2.5 hours. Single player, solo, you know. So yeah,
it is to the people on Twitter and the people on Reddit and all those fucking people that are bitching and moaning and being giant fucking babies about, they need to do this and I want this and give me this. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. No matter how much you whine about it, you're not going to get it.
You know, and you did have a lot of that. And the thing is, I believe, and not to, I don't know, I'm not to brag or say I'm right, they're wrong or whatever, but I believe the response video that I made is pretty much what someone who actually loves the game, which I do, the whole era of it, because I was there at Diablo 1, you know, that was my shit. You know, I was there at Diablo 2, Diablo. I did not realize that, you know, Diablo 2 and then LOD came out during some really weird times, if you really think about it back then. I don't know if you do remember, but I remember those years specifically. But not to digress, but I believe that response video that I did to the opening ceremonies to the people that actually have followed this franchise from the beginning pretty much sums it up. And it's like you said, the acceptance part has to be there, but the disappointment is still existing.
Yeah, if
there's no getting around it,
I totally understand. I totally understand if you are just bummed and it's super
I'm not
sad
bummed, just disappointed because...
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking in general. I'm not talking about you again. And I know how you feel about it, but like in general, if you are a general fan of this series and you've been a general fan forever, like we have, and you're bummed about it, or there's just disappointment, like, man, it's not what I wanted. I wanted more, but I didn't get more. That's fine. But you can't take that disappointment and turn it into an anger thing and like a bitching thing, because they're not going to listen to you at this point.
Oh, no, they're done.
Everything set in stone.
No, they're done. I mean, at this point, it's all about, you know, Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch, even. To be honest, I think that they're just about done with WoW. Not with content, with patches and all that, but their competitive scene really didn't even get talked about today. That's just there for, it seems to me, like independent teams. They're not really sponsoring them, but they're pushing the hell out of Overwatch right now. I mean, it's all about Overwatch because they went.
Overwatch has been, Overwatch literally got the biggest push with the Overwatch League.
Right.
That thing is like, that thing is unreal if you think about it, because what they did is they took a esports competitive game and they said, you know what? We are tired of all this drama, all this unprofessionalism, and all this bullshit that comes with esports. We are going to make an actual league like football, like baseball and basketball. You're going to get salaries, you're going to have actual coaches, real professional people behind it, and you're going to get paid because of it. Like, that is unfucking believable. I did not think that was going to happen in my lifetime. There was going to be an actual professional video game league that's real and is taken as seriously as the NFL.
Well,
that's nuts.
Yeah, all the negative publicity aside, and the cancer kids out there, to be fair, Riot is pretty damn close to that.
Yeah, it's
for League of Legends. They actually are
I would say that Blizzard one-upped them on this one.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to follow up with. They created the actual competitive professional teams. Blizzard's taking it to that next level. Yeah, they're taking it to, you know, you or I could play this game, play it enough, and get good enough to actually go and try out on a team.
Get on a team. It's,
you know,
and it's not just team thing. Like that video about the Overwatch stuff said, like, you can make your name a brand if
Correct.
you push it hard enough and you are dedicated to the game hard enough.
Right.
That's in sports. That doesn't happen because you yourself are a part of a team. You're a part of a football team. You're a part of a basketball team. You can become famous because of that, but you yourself cannot push your own brand to be that popular. And that is something that is completely
and that's what their
unique to
message
us.
was.
Yeah, you can literally become from a nobody with a terrible fucking name, like the one they had in the video, to actually meaning something.
Crusher.
You're gonna have, like, penis face 420 be on a billboard at some point in the future.
Oh, I can see Guntoad's name being up there. Shawnee E. He'll be up there.
Yeah. It's not like this move, I think, is probably one of the smartest things that Blizzard has done in the past couple years. They looked at Riot, they looked at what Riot was doing, and they said, you know what? Fuck you, we're gonna do it first. You took the MOBA thing away from us, and you made it super popular. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna make our own fucking league. So fuck you. The game is on now. And I hope Riot steps up, and I hope Riot makes it too. Because then you have, like, the Overwatch League versus, like, the League of Legends League. And competition breeds creativity. It's what the industry needs.
And they're using Overwatch as the test bed. And if it's successful, they'll end up having a HOTS League.
Yeah.
You know?
They may just make it. They may just change it from the Overwatch League to the Blizzard League.
The Blizzard League,
have
yeah.
it be an all-inclusive.
Yeah. And it'll be one gigantic thing, but separate entities.
Yeah.
Kind of like the AFC, NFC type thing that goes on in football.
Or yeah. NFL, how they do theirs. Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's super smart. I really do. Like, I know you don't care as for Overwatch as much as other stuff, and I know that, but like that game,
caring about the
that
game,
game has blown up so hard.
No, I have spent many an hour studying the game. I just haven't dropped any money to buy it.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I totally understand the game and its concept, and I would play it.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's one of those things where you yourself have not just put your foot into it yet. I say yet, because you haven't done it yet. But as someone who did play it and still does, I have not been able to play it because PathXL just swallowed my life for a couple months. So, but it is what esports needed, because Counter-Strike wasn't pushing it hard enough. As far as like first-person shooter esports, the MLG communities is like, as far as I know, that stuff's like dying super hard. That stuff is not even happening anymore. You have Call of Duty, that's kind of meh, and then the Counter-Strike was way more popular than Call of Duty or Halo or all that stuff.
Well, and it's time.
Comes along.
It's time to keep it. It's time for that freshness, and now is the time for them to make that move, and that's why they did it. Because of what you just said, the other ones are just dying. They're just not pushing it hard enough, and Blizzard sees this, and they're going, "Hey, let's do it."
Because
so now,
Valve does not want to push Counter-Strike. It's very clear that Valve wants to push Dota. That's what Valve actually wants to do.
Right.
Valve wants to push Dota. That's why they have the international. The international is so huge, it's unbelievable. Like this previous year's international was insane. Like, I played Dota a little bit, and I watched the international. Like, that's how gripping it was, and that's how exciting it was, because that's what Valve was pushing. Like, as many people that do play League, like, I would say Dota is still on par as far as just how big and how popular it is compared to League. It may not get as many viewers, it probably does not. I don't know, I haven't checked recently, but it is still as big as League of Legends. And honestly, I can't bring myself to play League anymore.
Me neither. I've tried. I watch it and love watching it.
Yeah.
But I just can't do it. I don't know what I just don't. I don't want to go down that road again and get sucked into I don't know, the way it makes you act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because its competitiveness breeds much more hatred than pretty much anything else.
And from what I mean, now see, then there's the thing that has to really have a careful eye on is Blizzard needs to watch Overwatch and not let it turn into that. Because I've seen and heard and read some of the chats and goings on in that game, and it's getting, I don't know what the proper word would be, just I don't know.
The term and nomenclature they use is toxic. It's turning toxic. It's just as toxic.
And I don't want to use that word for it because it hasn't reached that level yet, but it's getting there.
The current competitive Overwatch community is very, very selective and very, like, if you don't do this, then you're garbage, and if you're not at this point, then you're garbage, and all this stuff. Instead of being like, and I really hate this because I really wish that fighting games were as popular as MOBAs and first-person shooters as far as competitiveness. Like, yeah, EVO happened and it was super big and there were tons of people watching it, but like, if you watch professional fighting game players, they are so much more humble, so much more understanding, so much more calm, because it's them. If they fuck up, it's on them. It's not on something.
Yeah, but the minute you put somebody on a team, the minute you do that, and then it's automatically everybody else's fault. You know, we lost because of this move you did. We lost because, and then all that personal responsibility is out the window. Yeah.
Like, I know there's some pro players.
And what's sad about that is you have people.
Good.
You have people throughout the years, especially the recent years, like your Day 9s, like your Total Biscuits, like your, you know, people that I watch on Twitch. There's too many to even mention. But it's kind of sad that that's the case, because they've all talked about, especially whenever StarCraft was at its peak. StarCraft 2? they've all talked about, well, let me go back and see what I did. You know, what did I do to mess this up? Because you'll always, when you're on a team, you know, and this is, who else saw it? I think it was the same people who talked about, you know, games like League of Legends and like, you know, CS and everything else. Referring to, I have to watch the replay, and I made this move, this was the result. If I hadn't done this and I'd done something else, and taking that personal, stepping back and looking at that personal aspect of the game, of a team play game. Because the peoples that are complaining, and I'm talking about the people that oh, you're just shit, son, you don't know what you're doing, learn to play. Those people usually are the ones that are actually screwing up.
Yeah.
It's the ones that complain all the time. Or they're just that fucking passionate about the game to where, you know, I don't know. That's just the way they are. Like me. I mean, I get that way sometimes.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, like, in reality, it is actually, you have to accept and basically put that out for yourself and grip deep down and just tell yourself, like, I fucked up. I did this. Something was wrong. Or even second guess yourself constantly when it comes to those competitive games like that. Just basically, you need to reflect and you need to watch yourself. And it's hard to do that in those team games. Like in StarCraft 2 and in fighting games like Street Fighter and stuff, it's easy because it's you.
It's you. Yeah, it's just you.
It's just you. So you can go back and be like, okay, what did I fuck up here? What happened? How did I lose? What happened? In team games, it's more of the incentive of how did the team mess up? And a lot of people just think, how did the team mess up? Because if it's one of those things where, let's say, you're playing a game, League of Legends, and your jungler just like gets ganked and just starts losing, and he's out of it. In most cases, what does your team do?
They'll blame the jungler.
Your team goes, fuck you. You're a fucking jungler. Instead of being like, well, no, we should have coverage here, here, here. As a top laner, I'm going to go out and I'm going to help the jungler now. Or we are going to adjust to make this work. This problem that we had, this flaw, we're going to talk about it and make it work. People don't do that. And if they do that, then they are in the top tier of competitive.
Right.
And it's this thing of like, at a point, that self-reflection and that team reflection dies. And you don't have that from a point down. Or basically like a point in being a pro player down. You don't have that in team games. And it confuses me as to why you don't. I guess it's just the mentality of it. But like, I would think that would be a natural, normal thing for everybody to do if they wanted to actually be competitive about it. Is to be like, look, alright, we lost that game. Why did we lose that game? If it is competitive, then you should have that mindset, not, we lost, oh, it was this fucker's fault, because they didn't do A or B. And it's always confused me about team games as to why you don't have that. Because if you're playing with people you know, and you can talk and banter and back and forth, then you should all just be able to be like, okay, what did we do? Let's stop, talk about it, think. If the blame is on you, then the blame is on you. If the blame is on you, the blame is on you. But it's fine, we're a team, we can learn and keep going and get better.
Right. You're right. So, here's the deal. With their team play and everything else going on, are you personally going to start playing any of the other Blizzard games other than Diablo 3 more?
Well, Overwatch, yes. I love that game. That game is great. I want to play that game more. It's Path of Exile is a hole that is very hard to you're in it.
Just log out. That's all you gotta do.
I understand, but you could say that about any game. And it's like, say that about Diablo 2 back in the day when we were doing battle runs over and over. just log out. Just log out, man. That's all you gotta do.
One more run, man. One more run. I know. I get it. I understand.
But
I'm just
Overwatch for sure. Possibly Heroes of the Storm, only because, and this is the most pettiest and stupid reason, was all that extra stuff that they said that you could get in for the other games.
the freebies, huh?
Yeah.
Play 30 games. Play 30 games.
I want that Genji skin. I want that Genji skin so bad.
Well, all you got to do is just play 30 games.
Well, that one's 15. I don't even have to go that far. I can just be.
Well,
a
what's the
loser.
one for 30 games? Is that Overwatch? You play 30 games, or
No, 30 games in Overwatch, or 30 games in Heroes of the Storm gives you 5 free heroes in Heroes of the Storm.
Oh, which I mean, you probably build the gold for anyway for that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get them for free, you can get them
I
for
mean,
free.
yeah, you just do your dailies.
Yeah.
So
And then
that's not really a big,
StarCraft.
gigantic incentive.
StarCraft, no, I'm not. I've never been. Like, I love StarCraft, and I love the lore and the story about it, but I have never. I like watching matches, but I have never pushed myself into actually playing that game in any competitive level at all.
That you know,
That's
I'm over that. I'm over the StarCraft 2 thing. But there was a point in time, there was a few years there where that's all I did. You know, there was Diablo 2 and there was StarCraft 2. That was it. Period. I didn't play nothing else.
I mean, the things I like to do in StarCraft 2 competitive are dumb and stupid, and I lose all the time, but I have a great time doing them. I love playing Terran, and then just taking my base and floating it into their second base, and planning and building. And I like doing mass nukes as ghosts, and just stupid shit that's never going to work in a competitive manner. I love doing that kind of shit. That's the way that I play StarCraft 2. I'll just build a bunch of yeah, build a bunch of banshees and just go in, and if you die, so whatever.
Yeah.
And as far as Hearthstone goes, I love Hearthstone. I have just gotten to that thing where I am like 3 expansions behind, and I would need to buy all of them.
I'll play any of the games other than StarCraft 2 and Hearthstone, just quite simply because card games are my kryptonite. I have never in my life understood how to play card games. As sad as that is. As old as I am, I've never played a card game. I've watched it. I've looked like a monkey doing a math problem, trying to play it, and never understood it. I don't get it.
I would say, like, I have the same problem with, like, Magic and Magic the Gathering.
And I think that's where it started, because that is the very first card game I was introduced to way back when.
Yeah, there's just something in Magic where I look at it, I know how it works, I know how all this stuff works, but it's just a brick wall of me like, all right, let's play it, and then I just get to like, no.
Exactly.
But
yeah. Exactly.
I can do it with like Pokemon.
Hodor's got what is this? Look at Hodor up here with the Diablo theme on it. You see this?
Gotta wait. Gotta delay.
I'll tweet it to you. What? Do you get the rave going on there with the get to watch Hodor and his stuff?
Oh no, I don't.
They don't do the after party? That's kind of crazy. $40 seems like you get the whole damn thing.
Oh, you're talking about the virtual ticket stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not watching it right now.
Oh, I got you.
I don't really have anything that's interesting for me. For me, it was Diablo. That's.
Yeah, and that's all I was interested in too. But I pretty much could summarize, from the opening ceremonies, there wasn't going to be any. And the thing is that wasn't you. I was talking to somebody else the other day about this, to where if you look at their schedules over the past, they've always had this blank spot where they allotted time for big announcements. This was the first year in the past 4 years, I think it was, or since 2000. When was it? 2012. That they have not had that 30-minute void of, just after the opening ceremonies. And that right there was unprecedented, because they've done it every single year since And that's just 4 years, but I mean, you gotta, that was a big shift in scheduling.
Yeah.
So nobody was, that was the point where I was like, no, there's nothing gonna happen. They're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Because that would have been the time that they did it, especially with the 20th anniversary.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna watch the panel tomorrow, and I will probably watch Weird Al close out the BlizzCon, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like, she got the virtual ticket because she loves the other in-game items you get, and that's the only reason why she gets the virtual ticket. I basically relay all the information to her while she's at work, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I might watch the Overwatch tournament, maybe. I didn't watch the StarCraft 2 thing. I didn't watch the fucking WoW thing. There was no way I was going to watch that. I'm not going to watch the Hearthstone thing. So it's like, maybe the Overwatch, I'll watch it. But other than that, no.
So what are you going to play now? We're going back to D3 or what?
I actually don't know right now. I think maybe PoE probably loaded up. Because I've got my final character of the league finally at the level 79. So
not bad, not bad. All right. So any final thoughts? Yeah, I'm gonna turn this into like a podcast or something. So we might as well go ahead and post it, and my thoughts, your thoughts. I mean, since you actually watched it, and I read and talked to other people's and read all the press, saw all the hype. So I might as well go ahead and turn this into a podcast or a video cast on YouTube and whatnot.
My thoughts on it are...
Final thoughts. Here we go.
As far as Diablo goes, I'm fine. Do I want more? Yeah. Does everybody want more? Yes.
All we want is D2 HD. Go ahead.
That's it. Like, that's all we want. If we got it, everybody would shut up. But we're not gonna get it. Have to accept it. The most that I could want is for them to take Diablo 2 and at least put it on the new Battle.net app. That, if they did that, at least I'd be fine. That way you could just launch it from the app. It would be there and it'd be ready to go.
Correct.
They might do that. I don't. It's whatever.
But see, I don't know if they would be able to do that because it's on a total separate server for Battle.net. It's on Battle.net 1.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't think they can port that.
As far as D3 goes, I'm excited to play it next week for the PTR. I want to see how that Diablo 1 thing actually plays out. If they said how it's supposed to be, it should be as long as Diablo 1, because it's got 16 levels. That's how many were in Diablo 1. It's got the 4 bosses. It's got Butcher, Skeleton King, Lazarus, and Diablo. It's got all of the sound effects, all of the music. It moves like Diablo 1. You can't move 360. It's got 8 directions. You can't run. It's locked. It's all supposed to look very downgraded, like Diablo 1 is kind of an homage thing. So that I'm looking forward to. The Necromancer looks fucking sick. I can't wait to play the Necromancer. I have no problem waiting. PoE can hold me over until next year. I'm fine with that. I would say to anybody that is actually wanting something and plays Diablo 3, just play PoE. Like, just switch it over and play it. Learn the passive tree. You will have a lot of fun playing it. Like, I have 4 characters. They're all above level 60 now. And this is just this one league. So, like, that's what I would say. To anybody that just wants something, wants some ARPG that has super amounts of depth, and you can just run and run and run and run and run like Diablo 2, just play PoE. Play PoE and enjoy it. If you can't, I'm sorry. I know there's problems with PoE, there's problems with D3. If all else fails, just go back to D2. Just go back to D2 and play that forever. That's not going to go away. Yeah, just go do some bell runs. And just stick on his ass and just level up. I mean,
talk about repetitive.
That's my thoughts. I'm excited for the stuff that they're adding to D3. I'm not gonna overhype. I'm not gonna underhype. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna whine and bitch and moan about it. It is what it is. I've accepted it. So.
All right. Well, there we go. We're done. Are done. All right. Well, yeah. The rest of the night, I'm just gonna be piddling around in Path of Exile.
Yeah.
I was gonna go back to D3, but I don't think I am. I'm gonna get a few levels in that one, get a few levels, and eventually hit. But I don't even know. They did like the ladder reset on that, so I mean, it's still fairly early in the league, I guess.
The ladder reset just happened. So.
All right. So I mean, this is like early game for ladder reset.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
I'm gonna wait until next week, and I'm gonna play the PTR. That's what I'm gonna do.
That's when everybody's gonna log in. All right.
I can guarantee you, when the Necromancer comes out, people are gonna come back. They did it when Reaper Souls came out. They did it when they added the Greater Rifts. People came back, played it. They did not stick hard with it, which is something that you have to accept at this point. Diablo 3 is a much more casual game. You can't be like, well, you should just be able to play it forever. It's like, no, you're not going to be able to play it forever. It's not designed to be able to be played forever. So yeah, like, it'll bring people back. People will come back for the Necromancer. I mean, I know you're not too keen on the Necromancer, as I saw in the video. You had never really played the Necromancer whenever D2 was out. But
and
like,
it's not that I dislike the Necromancer. It's just I never.
Yeah, you didn't.
It wasn't my cup. It wasn't my cup of tea. Yeah. Like at all.
Like, I mean, I dove into the Necromancer. I played every single build that you can that was viable. I did the Uber Summoner and killed all the Ubers with them, all that stuff. And it's cool to see that character come back. I am super excited about that character coming back, and I want to play that character.
Can I not have but a moment's respite?
No. Sasquatch Bub says, now let's talk about how awesome that Morrowind remake is going to be.
I mean, yeah, it looks sick, but